Once your OBS wants to make changes, come here. This came up. What is this?
It's too bright in your face.
It says an error has occurred while installing the virtual camera. OBS cannot install the virtual camera if it's not in the applications. Please move OBS to the applications directory.
Okay.
That's cute, but that's a cool, like, soft pink. So, hope you don't expect, like, no.
Yeah, she don't know.
How to
She was
peach.
like, yeah, this one. This is like you.
All gold, boy or girl.
This one's like little sea and sand and water.
Okay. That looks good.
$40.
You guys just kind of rearranged those items that I put there.
Sorry. They all look like it was just there anyway.
Yeah, I was laying them there. The one I made was in a certain place. I think we got to get rid of the white towels. Maybe just work with.
No towel.
Yeah.
We already had that at home.
Yeah. Okay, so I put the application in the OBS into applications.
Okay. So, you good? You started everything?
No, I have not. I have to assess it. Testing, testing.
That's interesting.
I have to do that.
Yeah, because it's really strong. Okay, start.
Okay, we are live. Welcome back, you guys. We are back for another round of bracelets. If you noticed in my first video, it was really difficult. I went through the video and I found a couple of areas of concern. Number one, the audio. Turns out that my mic was muted the entire session, so we learned from our mistakes. And also the lighting. With the white table and the lighting, it made it extremely difficult to see. So I thought, let's do another round. But we have a special guest today, my little. Because I figure if you can teach a 10-year-old how to make a bracelet, and if you're out there, there's no excuse. So you're probably wondering, you're looking at the time, you're wondering what's happening, because I should be at the Beyonce concert. Earlier today, we talked about that, and as you know, very busy. My schedule is all over the place. Um, you know, you you clearly know I did not purchase the tickets if I threw my dates off. So I was off a day, so we're going tomorrow. So anyway, it's late, but what I could not do is go to bed and leave you guys with the video that the live that I had up earlier because it just did not do this process any justice. So The trick is, can a 10-year-old make a bracelet at the same time? We shall see the turnout. So let's get started. Let's jump right in. Let me go ahead and flip this here. You guys feel free. Let me know in the comments how things look, how things feel. So, what do you need? First things first, your stretch magic. And we're going to go with the 0.5 millimeters. Why? Because it's thin enough. As you guys know, we made this beautiful bracelet earlier. Actually, we have a matching. This beautiful bracelet. So we want to make sure that we can send a few of these elastic cords through each gemstone. So be sure to take a look at that. Your go-to Beadalon curve big eye beading needle, a must-have. And we'll find out as well if a 10-year-old can handle this, because this can get a little sticky, to say the least. And then we have a quick pair of scissors, whichever you like, and our bead buds. This comes in handy. So let's get started. You want to use about, I would say, 20 to 30 inches of string, depending on how many gemstones you use. And your number of gemstones depends on the measurement of the wrist. So you can measure it. Iceland, how many gemstones are you wearing?
Oh, well, my other one is 21, but I'm not sure about this one.
Okay, so you probably count it. So then if you wear that, you obviously know your fit. So your fit's probably 21. So that one may be 22 or 23. And then we have this one here. So you can kind of count. And if you can't count, you can, once you put the gemstones on the elastic, you can wrap it around and maybe get a feel of how many gemstones will go around. And make sure, although it fits this area, this is pretty small, you want to increase the number of gemstones because you actually have to send it through your hand. So if you measure here and say, oh, this is perfect fitting, remember it has to go through this portion of your hand. So give yourself some room for that. And it's elastic, so you have a little bit of space to squeeze through. Okay, so now we're headed back to our string. And again, we're using our stretch magic. So I'm not going to measure, I'm just going to do a quick guess here. And since it's two of us, we'll do a double stretch, just so we have enough to finish the job. And what we've done is pre-count our gemstones just to expedite the process for you today. These scissors could be sharper. And also, what I have here for you today would be the Crystal Bible. And this is what they call a Crystal Bible by name. You don't have to, pray to it or anything of that sort. But it does define each and every gemstone. And I'm talking over 200 crystals in this book here. So I'll be sure to leave this in the link, the link for this particular book by Judy Hall. It's amazing. It's everything you need to know about every single gemstone. So as you are applying and creating your bracelets, and remember, your bracelets could be for yourself, it could be for sale, it could be for gifting purposes. But for us today, I'm working with the blue lace agate, and this is really focused on tranquility and communication. So when you're wearing these gemstones, you want to make sure that this is the focused energy in these stones. And again, you learn a lot more about the gemstones and how they work and its powers and its energies and its properties in an awesome book like this. And Iceland, I see here you're working with your rose quartz, and you're all about love and passion and emotional healing, and it's definitely about calming when it comes to rose quartz. And it looks here that you do a blend. Iceland's actually working on a gift. So we talk about a gift. She has a great friend and thought she'd like to make a bracelet for, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to see, are you smarter than a fifth grader? Like, can we do this? And the white jade here, also known as the white agate, because it's focused on clarity, calm, protection. So we're going to do a blend. So I hope she loves it. And here we have a client order for the blue lace agate. So we're going to get started. And I went ahead and cut our strings, so I'll go ahead and give you one. You're so welcome. And let's go ahead and grab your needle, Iceland. I believe I'm going to give you the used needle. It has less of a curve. I think it'll be a little less tricky for you. What do you say?
Yeah, it's
Be
fine.
very careful with these, okay? And I'm going to start with the fresh curved needle. And we're doing this because this one and what you can do here with the fresh one is give it a little stretch because it does not require that much curve, but I do prefer it when I'm making the bracelets. It just helps to keep the process going. So let's move a few items and let's get started. How's everybody doing tonight? Listen, if you're on, if you're speaking, hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining. I do not have visual. So if you are speaking, I'd love to get back to you and answer any questions that you may have. But again, we are making bracelets and we are making gemstone bracelets and we are using the beautiful crystals. I have my 10-year-old daughter here, Iceland, who's going to make her first bracelet. This is her first time. So the goal is to instruct her the same way I would teach you, the audience, on how to make a bracelet. And let's see how this ends up at the end of this live. So let's wish this luck. If there's areas that get a bit too tough, I may give you a little handicap there, but let's see how you do. So let's grab your needle. And if you all have these items out there, go ahead and grab them as well. Did I tell you about the bee bug? I'll leave this in the link. Bee bugs, go to, must have. It makes so much of a difference with controlling your beads, your gemstones, and you definitely want to go ahead and grab that. I'll leave a link for you for the quick Amazon pickup. So, Iceland, go ahead and get started. You're going to open up the eye of the needle.
In the middle?
That'll be it. Okay. See that? So you're going to send your elastic through just enough. You don't need too much. How's that? Okay. So if you guys see that there, just a little bit of elastic through. You don't need too much. That should be good. So you want to push it down. Make sure you fold it down. Get a nice. See here? See how it's like that. So remember, exactly, because you're going to send it through, you want to hold it together. See that? Okay? So you can go ahead and lay that down. Nice and smooth. Great. So now we're going to grab the other end of the elastic. Okay? And then you can maybe, this much is good. It really doesn't matter because when you move it around and you'll grab your bead bug. Does that look like a problem? Because remember, your needle's here. So now you need on the other end. Exactly. So now you're going to put the bead bug right on there. You know how to use a bead bug? Well, this is good because not everyone knows how to use a bead bug, and often I use pretty fast. I move pretty quickly with this.
Oh.
But bead bugs, they have these two cute little Mickey Mouse ears, right? You're going to pinch them together, and when you pinch them together, it opens up the spring. See that?
Does it have to be in like the
No, not all the way. Just any area that pinches it, and all you're looking for is a quick pinch.
Yeah, I did.
Of course you did. Good job. See that? Open up the springs, and then you look for the pitch. And this is cool. I like doing this because there's some areas that I don't think about that goes by very quickly. So sound check. Let's see, 1 second here because I'm going up, but I'm not too far up. Let me see if I can adjust the sound here. Take it all the way up. See how that does. But now I'm hitting red. Take it down a bit.
Go back the audio recording? Touch on that too. Or it's just on?
It's on. That's the one that was turned off.
Do it now. Let me try this.
Okay, testing, testing. We are testing out audio. I want to make sure you guys hear me clearly because I can talk away, and if you cannot hear me, I mean, what a waste. Right, Ice? Okay, let's get back to it. Okay. Visuals as well. I hope that we are coming through pretty clearly. So let's get back to it. Because I should not have to yell. And it looks like the audio, yeah, it's good on part end. So we'll see. This will be another test, part 2 of another test. And if it doesn't turn out right this time, we'll try again. Because that's what we do, right? If at first we don't succeed. So go ahead and grab your needle. How do you feel? All right. So the next step, we have the bead bug on one end, guys. We have the needle on the other. So it's space because we don't need any of this. So I'm hoping you guys can see this very clearly. Now it's time to put on the gemstones. Okay, Ice?
Okay.
So what we're going to do is put every single gemstone all the way on, and guess what? They're going to just land right on the bead bug. So let's get started. So here's where, if you join the live, and if you have something to do, and remember, if you want to create a pattern for that bracelet, this is where you create the pattern, because this is the last time that you see your gemstones separated.
Okay.
So for me, I have, the different blue agate, but I can kind of, some of them are a bit lighter than others, so I most likely will not put all of the light ones together.
So if you have contrast.
Yes, exactly. Okay, contrast. That's definitely what we want. How's it looking over there, Ice?
How do you make it go down?
You're going to push it. And remember that second string, you need to make sure that that stays with you, or the string will fall out of the needle. Are you okay? It's going to go all the way down. Yes, it has to go past both. Yeah. What are you afraid? Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Push. Oh.
So these two.
Oh. Everything. Now, if you hold onto this, guess what? Everything's still on there, right? Okay, good. So keep going. This is cool because you've never done this before, right? So you want to be careful because if you see the needle, you see how thin that is? It can easily go right through the skin. So you want to be very careful. Take your time. Don't try to move as quickly as me because I've done this several times. And also put myself several times. Hope you guys are doing wonderful out there. We are here late night bracelet making with my little. And I am making a bracelet because this should really show you all that if you are human, you can do it too. My daughter here, she's 10, she's had a 11. And she is making a bracelet for the first time. And we are creating this bracelet for a client, and she's making a bracelet for a friend. So this is going to be a great test and a live test to see if this is truly teachable. Because if I can show you guys how to do this, that means that I should be able to instruct someone right in front of me on how to do this as well. So I have no idea of how this live is going to end. But we have faith. So we are taking our time. If you see here, I believe Ison, I have less gemstones than you because this particular order, she required less gemstones. So don't think that you're moving too slow. I know you're very competitive. So we're moving at a great pace. And if you happen to have the materials and you're rolling with us, double tap. We want to know that you are out here making your beautiful bracelets. And again, so many different meanings. That's why we have this crystal here. Yes, question?
I think I'm done.
Okay, is
I
that
think it's a little too big.
why?
I don't know.
Too many?
Yeah, she needs a little bit. I don't know if that would
Okay.
be too big.
So she thinks that it's too big, but did you count yours? Let's
Oh.
use your arm. Okay. So you feel like
She's
this
like-
is enough?
Yeah, is
Oh, I
there?
totally agree.
Yeah,
This may be a little big for her, don't you think?
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But didn't you? I thought you counted.
Yeah, I counted. I think something happened.
In
But
your brain?
I counted over there. I
Uh-huh.
counted over there, and then I think when I was counting the gemstones, I added more to make sure I had more just in case. Maybe I added that just in case.
Okay, so this is good. So this means we probably want to take some off, right? Okay. How many? Should we measure you again? So you want to take off 4? So let's see what that would look like. So here's what you can do. Let's take off the needle when we do this just to be sure no one gets hurt here. And then we'll leave this 4. What you can do is just maybe hold it because they will slip off if you don't have a bead bug. So you can maybe get a little grip on that. And then we'll take it up. Go ahead. I'll have your arm.
Maybe add
Yep. See that?
2 or 3, or 2, 1 or 2.
Yeah. Let's try 2. See how that goes. Because we don't want to lose it completely just in case. Like in that case, if we would have taken 4 off, now we have to grab the needle again and start over. Now remember what I told the audience is, although it fits here, you want to give it at least one more space to fit around the arm, right? And she's gonna grow too. She's, you guys are big girls. So maybe just take 1 off. I think that should be good. What do you think? You think it's too big?
By like 1, but it just looks perfect.
Okay.
1 made it.
Okay, so let's count it. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20.
Yeah, it is really good.
You think that's good?
Yeah.
Because
She's
this
a little bit smaller than me.
is 18. She's a little smaller than you. Are you sure?
Yeah.
If you can add 1 more just for a sake. Here, let's try it again. This is why you should be prepared. I thought she was prepared.
Yeah,
I think that's good. Okay. Perfect. Good job, sugar.
Thank you.
All right. So let's move these because we don't need them. That's why I try to have a little extra. I'm very clean when I do these things. I really need things in order because it's just messy. I can't do this. All right. So let's get the needle back to the string. Hope you guys are hanging in with us late night bracelet making. Make sure you get enough through there so that it's through not too much. I think this is good. This is good. This is nice. This way, just enough, not too much. Now remember to keep this still. It's always good to hold that tip right there because that's the slipping point. Without stabbing yourself, right? Okay. Okay. Now more beads here. This is good. It should be kind of facing similar to this. You can see that curve that you're looking for. So your right hand is.
Yes.
Okay, great. So now we're going to make a U shape that's kind of facing because now you're visually seeing where you're going here, right? So,
Like this here?
yep, that's perfect. And you want to make them, you can even them out. Is it pretty even what you say?
Yeah.
Okay, we can lay it back down together. Okay, so now this is the hardest part of the process. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, look alive. All right, guys, here's where I need you to pay very close attention. On this side, you have the needle. On this side, you have the bead bug, right?
Yes.
What we're doing is intertwining these two so that they all lay as one. So how we're going to do that? Here's how we're going to start. I wish you guys could see these facial expressions. Okay, so listen. Ready? Needle. We're going from this side to this side. Now we're going to send this needle through the gemstone.
Only one.
Only one at a time. This is extremely important. So, see the way I went into it? I went in this way. From the outside. Okay. That's why I want you to pay close attention like you're a viewer on YouTube. Pause and rewind. Ready? Remember I told you this is the most important part.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
And the most confusing part. Okay. This goes from top in. But you crochet, so this is going to be a piece of cake in no time. It's just about seeing it for the first time. And I hope the audience can see it. We're going to go in from the top. From the top. And then literally all you're going to do is send it all the way through. And just stop to see where everything lies. Careful with where it comes out because remember it's coming out. Good. Push it all the way through. Good. Now stop. Lay the needle down. Excellent. Now check this out, guys. Now we have this cross. You see that cross? Because this is the beginning of creating your bracelet. And I said put the needle down because I don't want you to move it too much and lose the motion of what you have here. Because what you have here is what you continue to do one gemstone at a time, all the way around. But what's important is that this string here stays exactly where it is. It may move around a bit, but you still need it to stay on your right side. And your right side right now is your bead bug side, and your left side right now is your needle. Ready? Let's rock. So again, for the people in the back, I'll let Icy work on that. Let me know if you run into anything, okay? Run your own, soldier. So what you're seeing here is we're going through the gemstone from the top to the bottom, and then of course you're going to have your needle on one side, and then you'll have your bead bug on the other. So what we did was create a cross now. So the elastic is now going through one end and the other. But we have to send it through each and every gemstone to create that double cord, that double strand through the entire bracelet. So, Iceland, how's it going?
But how do you know you like went all the way around?
Great question. And I'll have you pause so I can answer it because I don't want you to accidentally. Thank you. You know how you know? And that's how I know you know what you're doing, but just by your question. That's where we started. So this is how we know where we ended, okay? So you're going to continue to go around, and this is for you all as well. We'll go around, but what we'll do, Ice, instead of stopping here, maybe stop one or two ahead of it, okay?
Why?
Why? Thank you for asking, because we're going to create a few knots in different areas. So once we start there, it's going to create just a beautiful motion. Well, actually, I take that back, and thank you for that question. We're going to create those layers of knots after we come here. So you're going to continue to go around, all the way around, all the way around until you get here. And then I'll explain why we'll go from one to the other. Okay?
When you get good, can you do multiple at a time?
Yes. Are you feeling good? Don't get too cute with it now. But yes, you can. That's a great question as well. Question is, when you get real good at this, can you send maybe a few gemstones through at a time? Yes. But I like to do one at a time. It keeps the strand in a great order. You can also, looking for the best one. So you can see what I'm doing here. Send one gemstone at a time. And what you can do to make sure that your string is okay, just kind of pull it. Still there? Yep, still there. Great. And you go all the way around until you get to where your string is waiting for you on the other end. So if you need a little break, this is a good time to take it because we're going to work our way all the way around. We have to show you all a finished product, and I also have to show you all if we were able to instruct a fifth grader on making a bracelet with a very sharp needle. She's doing very well. Iceland also has experience making waist beads. She crochets. She does a few things with her hands. So I did trust the process and trust that she can give it a try, and you know everything heals.
So you said stop one early, which would be this one.
I gave you that instruction before, but that's the wrong instruction. I want you to go all the way around until you stop there. I'll do that on our next round. We'll do that, and I hope you guys caught that too. When you start, you want to go all the way around until the very start of the bracelet, where the lingering elastic lies. That's where you want to stop, and then we'll get to the next step. So I hope that you guys can see here, trying something a bit different with lighting. We changed the table cover here to perhaps the contrast would be a bit better on the eyes. And we're just going to test it out. I'm not deleting anything. Everything's going up, and I'm going to thank you guys. Great job. And I'm going to continue to learn from this process of creating content. I learned tons of things about lighting today, just doing more research because running into issues like this, my goal is to learn as much as I can. So learning about the 3 points of lighting, learning about the white light, the neutral light, the warm lights, turning off, warm light so that there's no conflict, and having your front lights where you have your light in front of the camera, especially if you're doing, long form content. And you have your light on the side, and the side should be a bit dimmer. And then there's a backlight too. So you want to place your light behind you that's going to face like towards your shoulder or your head. So I learned a little bit about lighting today. So hopefully you guys see a difference there because all of this stuff is new to me. So I'm constantly educating myself, and the goal is to, each one teach one. So I learn, I teach, and we keep going from there. So I'll be telling you guys a little bit more about lighting when I'm sure that I figure it out. Because right now, test, 1, 2, 3. We are here. Awesome. Great job. Thank you for your patience, Ice. All right. So in this case, now we have 2 strings. This is great.
My bed broke.
Where is it? Let's take a look.
Still on the right.
Oh, good. This is perfect. And this is a great example. Your V-buck.
Oh, I said that.
No, that's not what you oh, you bad butt. So this is good because this is an example of how things can turn out. Can you please move your hand?
See my bad.
This is an example of how things could turn out at the end of the process. It could look like this. It could look like this. All of this is fine. This just means that perhaps Iceland did not pull as she was moving along. Totally fine. In my case, I was pulling along, but it will all work out. Let's see how this works. Okay, so now we're going to remove your needle. You're going to remove your bed bug. Your bead bug.
Sorry.
Okay, so give it a nice pinch. Okay, so now you'll hold it up. And now you're going to cross it. Maybe if you can do somewhat of an exchange. Okay? Or before you do that, perhaps you can do some pulling. Because now you want to bring it together.
You pull up.
Mm-hmm. Hold both strings together.
Oh.
See that? Is it coming together?
Yes.
Awesome. Good. Okay. Not too tight. But, bring it together. Okay, good. I like it. You want to show the camera? We're getting places here. I'm impressed, by the way. Very impressive. Okay. So now, we have it very close together. Okay, even closer. So now we'll do that cross I talked about. Where it's almost like, we'll just kind of cross it almost like you're tying your shoe without the full X. You're doing cross because that would just kind of, no, I didn't say that. Bring it on back, bring it on back. Remember we said cross. Look, open. And then just cross. Cross. Yeah. If you can keep it crossed, because it's hard to do. You almost want to hold it up and twist it. Just do a twist and then pull. Because that twist is what, yeah, there you go. Pull, nice. Anytime you have some difficulties, you can wrap it around your finger and give it a nice tug. Nope. Did we say not yet?
Yeah, I was trying to.
Okay. No, not yet.
That's how I was trying to keep it.
Okay, try again. Okay. Right there. There you go. Excellent. That's what you want. See how you brought it together? So now, yes. Now what you can do, Ice, I'm going to take it like this since you have your X. You can turn it over.
This one over?
If you can. Just see if it holds. And this is not necessary, I'm just showing you something that I do. But if you stopped right there and you did a knot, it will still work. But I'm just showing you a different technique that's a bit, you know, bit on the expert side, but why not learn now? Now it's time. Since we did it turnover, now it's not doing that flippy floppy thing it was doing before. So you can hold it up and feel comfortable. Now it's time for the knot. And remember the knot, you want to keep it in place. And quick secret, Ice. Super important. When you make this knot, you want to keep that knot right between those two same gemstones at your very best, okay? Good.
So do not how I was going to do it.
Just like you would do. What we did was make it tighter, and we're keeping things closer.
Oh, I keep it where it is.
In that same spot. Because if it crosses, it will get over. Exactly. Beautiful, beautiful job. Yeah, there you go. Give it a little wiggle. That wiggle. Okay, good. Not too tight, because we're going to go back through. Excellent. We're done. So, as you guys are looking at this, we have now just a few inches of string. If I'm being honest, I would typically start with longer elastic. Why? Because it just gives us an opportunity to send more elastic through the bracelet, but also keep in mind that sending more elastic through the bracelet also means that it's tighter. You know, you have less flexibility there. So this could definitely work. Next, let's get back to it, because now I'm going to teach you the surgeon knot, which you're familiar with from crochet. Okay, you ready? Because this one knot, it's not going to hold, it's not going to do. But a surgeon knot will do, okay? Surgeon knot's super simple. It's exactly what you did before, that turnover. But instead of one loop, you're going to send another loop through it. So that's a few loops. But the challenge is to get that twist back down right between the same gemstones.
Okay, so do the thing. Then you go close it down. You can move around.
Yep. And then you'll pull it just like you did before. And give it a nice wiggle. Because you don't want to pull too much and tear the elastic, which rarely happens because it's very strong. But also, you know, everything has a possibility of breaking. So you want to still. Did you get it right at the same location?
Yeah, but it went a little bit up.
We could fix that. Because there was so many knots, right? Which is a good point. Which is why we talked in my last video. I talked a little about just making sure you pull so that those knots are smaller. Exactly. So then we have the gemstones. So let's get the needle back on. You can use your long side, or whichever side you like, actually. Typically, we would measure and have these a bit even. Also, typically, these would be a bit longer at this point just to give you a bit more leverage around, which would mean that when you're starting with your magic stretch, or stretch magic, you would just give yourself a bit more elastic moving forward. So I did a short start, cut it in half. We started a bit shorter than I would typically like. I like to send mini layers around, but again, I'm extra. So everything about me is extra. These will last forever with 2, 3 layers. My braces typically have 5 or 6 sometimes, but it's not necessary, and it's cool because we'll be able to show you that today. Okay, how are we doing? All right. little,
get me.
little final destination here. Okay, so let's see. The love that you don't know or what that is. Have you seen the commercials for it? Okay, no.
Let's see.
No, nothing. Everything's good. Okay,
I probably do, but I don't know.
perfect. All right, let's put this in the needle. Well, you're already done, aren't you? Okay. Guess what we're doing?
What?
Same old same. Let's send it back through. But now we have to just make sure we're paying attention to which direction we're sending. So typically I go to the left, but go whichever way is comfortable for you. And now it's much easier to work with, right? So you may look at this ice and you say, wow, but I can't send it through because the knot's in the way. That's a lie. Why? Because we have elastic. So what you do is get the knot out of the way and send the needle through. Past your original string. And here's where we do one at a time because we just want to make sure we're taking special care of each and every gemstone. Because the string is long, I see here's what's happening to me. Oh no, it's getting a little looped up and things. Not a challenge. Just take it up and send it through. You say you don't need this advice, you're already.
No, I
This is
see that.
ABC. No, I'm just kidding. You were saying what? Go ahead.
I said, yeah, that's what I did.
Did it get caught up for you a bit?
Yeah, when I was doing the first one.
Mm-hmm. So if you get any pushback, sugar, go ahead and stretch it out like this. That gives you more than enough space. Late night gemstone bracelet making with my little. This is what's happening right now. If you're just jumping in, I'll be sure to link all of the tools and resources we are using today. If you notice, we went live earlier today, and I was very disappointed in the turnout, the quality, the lighting, the sound. Um, I was so excited about finally being able to stream because I was working through that from connecting the OBS to um, the live stream and just learning all the camera functions. So once that was set, I think I lost my mind and did not pay as much attention to the sound and the lighting for whatever reason. Just got things to learn here. And, it's learning to happen and it's happening here. So be very careful because sometimes you'll see it move around another one and you definitely don't want that and that's hard to work around, although we will be able to work around it. So if it happens, don't just be quiet about it. Let me know so I can help you through it. I hope this lighting is coming through clearly. This is something that I'm learning because when I'm working, I'm forgetting that you all are here with me and I'm just mowing and going. So in this case, I remember I told you about stopping about 2 gemstones ahead of the other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're going to do here as well. Because remember, the knots can get a bit thick in that one area, right? So we want to keep the knot moving along. We don't want to create the knot in the same area because then it gets even thicker. So I'm glad you're not talking and doing this because it can be a little distracting. As for myself, typically do a few things at a time. In that case, I was able to put the needle through 2 at a time. That happened, so I let it flow. But if you are beginning, do 1 at a time. This way you have control of the needle. You can be sure to stretch the elastic the way you need to and get the leverage that you need to reach one to be sure that the elastic does not go around any of the gems on the outside. That can happen when you're not paying close attention. There's not a mistake that I described to you that I haven't made, so that's why I'm able to describe it. See that? Nice little poke. That's okay. Being very careful. Okay, send that back through. So you guys are seeing this clearly. I'm getting pretty close. I'm about 6 away from our main knot station. come through. This technique is really cool because you have a mini elastic option. So let's say one happens to snap for whatever reason, when you wear bracelets, you're kind of really stretching them to put them around your hand, onto your arm. Not a challenge. You can actually cut that off with a quick knot and you're good to go. Why? Because there's so many layers built into each and every bracelet that we make. So it makes it very strong, easy to work with. So I almost missed my mark there, which is fine, but I almost missed it. So here, what I'm going to do, like I told Iceland before, you want to stop 1 or 2, 3 ahead so that you can create a new knot space. Because our last knot is here. Now we create the next knot over on the other side. And I'll explain how we do that in just a moment so I don't lose my little helper here. And we're coming to a close pretty soon based on the length of the elastic that we started with. We only have a little bit of elastic to work with, which means that we've gone through this. We have about 3/4 of elastic through so far, which is fantastic. These can last with one, but we like to send a few of them through. Okay, perfect. I like what you did there. Great. Perfect. So now we'll stop. You can go ahead and lay it down. Not to mix up what side is what, right? Because what we're gonna do now.
Because now the needle's on my left.
Perfect. So now we're going to move it to the opposite side. So we're going to take it off. And make sure you leave everything where it is because we want to know what direction we're headed to, right? So let's take it off and you can put it on the other side.
So on this side?
Yes.
So
Without
it was on
moving your
this
bracelet.
side, now it's on this side.
That's correct. Sounds confusing? Doesn't look like it at the rate you're going with that bracelet, sugar. All right, so put your meat on. Sorry, I'm preparing for the Beyonce concert. Okay, sorry. I know. Next time, I promise I'll get tickets. All right, and this is well, my friends don't want to go with Bill. It's adult time anyway, you know, we need to relax on this beautiful day. How you doing over there? Great? Okay, good. So, now we're going to go the opposite way and we're going to meet our guy where we were before. Okay? But you have to go the opposite way.
So now go around.
Not even around. Opposite. So you see where you are here? Now you're going to go back to meet.
So I have to go over here.
Correct.
And then I have to stop right here.
You're going to stop where your last string
Yeah, so
is.
stop right here.
Where's right here? You're going to stop here. Because right, yes. Is it, oh, that's where your needle's going, yes. So how you can do that out there, you can flip it. That tells you to go the other way. That's another way you can do it if you want to remember. If you change, flip directions and you forget where you're headed to. So we are going to send it back over because we want to meet our friend. Where's our friend? It's right here. And when you do that, give it a nice tug because remember, that knot is still there looking all cute, all, you know, surgeon knotted up, which is great. That's what you want for the strength. But now we want to hide it, and that's what creates that kind of flawless look where you do not see where these bracelets start or end. It's simply because you want to pull and hide it inside of the gemstone. That's the secret, okay? We're sharing the secret. We're getting the tea tonight. That looks perfect. So now they're together. Now what time is it? Just based on straight up common sense, what are we doing next? What kind of knot?
Surgeon.
Yes, and we're gonna do it the first time because remember we did like one before and then we did the surgeon. That makes it much thicker. So we're going to switch that. Now that you know what to do, let's get a surgeon knot going. What I do is a quick X first. That helps me. Then I twist it around because now I have nothing but stability for my surgeon.
So wait.
Okay, too fast.
You start.
Okay, forgive me. Remember how we did that X before?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I say X, it's simply just kind of spinning the bracelet around to make it some little knot. You want to hold it up to pop this out. So when you spin it, doesn't it make it some little knot? Nope. When you spin the bracelet, use your finger. You have that? Okay, that's the action word. Great. Now pull a little bit tighter to bring everything together. Right? Now hold it, sugar. And just bring this over. Any one of them should work. But keep it in that same spot. Yeah, you have to take your time with it. Because if it goes into a different spot, you will have a problem. Is that what happened?
No.
If it does, just start over.
No.
So now it's time for your surgeon knot. When you're ready, it should be nice and tight. Use your hand if you're having any challenges with movement. And take your time when you go down on the surgeon knot, just in case it's not in the right spot. Because that section in the center is where you want to make sure you hold it. Isaac, can you see that? Yes. All right. Sorry to distract you. Did you get that there?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Try it again. Because
I had to.
I knew you were gonna go there. And that's why I was afraid of having you on live, because you bounce to anything. Okay. Okay. Why are you showing me? Show the camera. Okay, let's do it.
Well,
Surgeon, did you get that surgeon now?
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. So listen. I'm stretching it a little bit as I go too. So feel free to give it a little stretch, because when your client is wearing it, they will stretch it. But don't, the way you did your face, look like it was going to be a very aggressive stretch. Let's not be aggressive. Nice and delicate. Fun. Almost like a velvet hammer. Get that? Velvet hammer? No. Okay. All right, moving on. Okay, we are here, guys. I can't see you.
I know.
So, because of the length, I say we close this off. There's only a little bit of string left, and we need enough to make a few last knots, okay? So I see, let's get ready to close this off and close off the slide and get to the bed. Into the bedtime story.
What?
Tuck you in like a little baby that you
I
once
don't
were.
even get tucked in on the weekend. I just go to sleep.
Let me treat you like a baby, please.
Okay.
You always want your friends to think that you're a big girl. What's your best? I'm getting the needle ready.
And what I put in left or right?
Any side will work, sugar. Great questions. I love your questions, because you really know when somebody knows what they're doing or is actually learning by their questions.
Yeah, every time I
Mhm.
class, I'll be asking questions.
Mhm.
So like, who's not asking questions? I would probably get the best grades.
I'm telling you, it's true. And you, I can't wait for graduation. Well, make sure you're not mimicking her correctly. Is that how her voice sounds?
Yes.
Okay, then there's no problem. Because I love the message. It's true. And your questions show me that you know what you're doing. All right, so you got the string in the needle and the needle in the string? All right, send it back. Let's go about 4. Any way you want. Okay, so that's where you, look at how I'm holding it. And that's for you all out there too. Notice, because the string is looser, just have a bit more pull here. I do not want it to slip out like it's done for Iceland. So 2 of my fingers here is kind of holding this space. And then I'm using the rest of my fingers to control the tip of the needle.
Okay, so go forward.
Either direction works now. Our goal is to make enough space to hide our next knot. And you don't want to do too much, because I want to leave just enough string for us to make really tight knots that we're comfortable with. Okay? So, if you're having a hard time, you see that, just pull it. That will stretch your elastic and send it through. So I'm getting some jam here. Let me check that out again. No. The ice has no jam on her end. If you get too much jam, send it the opposite way. But I think we got something here. One thing I want to remind you, it gets a bit tighter the more elastic you're sending around. Why? A few reasons. We are working with one hole in the gemstone. That gemstone can only take so much, which is why I like to start with the 0.5 millimeter elastic because it's nice and thin.
So when
But
you do
then,
multiple layers,
mm-hmm.
it doesn't blow it up.
Okay, would you like to take it from here? All right, thank you. So then we have also ice. Let's not forget the needle, because you remember the needle? Look at this. We have our one string that we want to send through, and then we have this double layer because we need this double layer to stay within a needle. So things are going to get tighter. Things are going to get stiffer. Prepare for that. Look out for that. Just know you need the layers, but also remember that elastics. So get that stretch out of it. Yes, I see that's the word. Look it up. And you want to send it through. And that was a bit tough for me, but no problem. Did a bit of stretching, and I'm also going to do some pulling because my knot's there, and we want to hide that. We're hiding everything. We're hiding all signs of knots. We're hiding all signs of elastic, but it just looks good when you're wearing it. So I see, how many gemstones have you gone through so far?
4.
4. Can I see how long it is? Oh yeah, you're ready. This side is a little short for my taste, but I'll fix that for Icy. So this side is good to work with. Perfect. Okay, so hang tight for me, and I'm going to take you there in just 4 beats away.
See, I'm hanging tight.
Okay, she is hanging tight. Icy, I'm thoroughly impressed with your bracelet. So while I have you, tell us about what's going on with the grade. Closing off the year. How are you feeling? Ready to head over to the 6th grade?
Yeah, I still have to finish my essay.
Let's go.
Then I have to do math lesson this week. And we were like, because the essay didn't take a long time. We were supposed to, no, we were supposed to for like, but we started our essay on Wednesday. I'm typing on it. I'm already basically.
Yes.
I'm probably gonna finish on Tuesday.
Okay.
And
How many words a minute are you typing now?
Like 32.
You're in the 30s now, right?
Yeah.
Nice. We've been using this, what is it called? 10 fast fingers?
Yeah.
For, at least 3 years now. And it's just fun. Sometimes I punish them with it. You know, they get into some stuff. I'm like, all right, 10 laps of 10 fast fingers. So they have to get on there, and it's just a minute each. Or we do it for fun. We also do we also do some competitions. We may do it that way too, but it really helps with. Excuse me, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
It really helps with typing, and clearly they're testing, and clearly they're writing their essays via typing, and clearly they're being timed too, right?
Yeah.
So all of these things are coming in handy. If I can get
Type slow.
any advice out there, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you do not have experience, now you're done. If you don't have experience with typing, 10fastfingers.com, super free, super awesome. I actually use it for myself. My speed has increased.
You got like 60.
Yeah, I'm getting there now because, hey, repetition is key. And that's what we do. So let's get our knots in before folks start hating on my typing numbers. All right, easy there. It's getting late, I can see. It's getting a little delusional. All right, guys, so now we have our strings. Okay?
Wait, why did you go so much? You only told me 4.
I have more string.
Oh.
So it just depends on who has more string. I get mine a bit different. Let's not compare.
No, I'm trying to make sure I did it right.
You did an excellent job. And remember, each one's different. So, okay. So you ready to rock? All right, guys, hanging in there with us on this late night gym rocking. You're going to go ahead and take out your needle. And this is the moment where we put the needles away. Because you can get really comfortable and really cute and begin to, once you finish your bracelet, you leave it down. I stabbed you right there. Oh my gosh, you got slow motion that. Why were you so close? You see me working with the needles. Lesson learned, don't get too close to your mother when she's working with needles. Beadalon, curved big eye. As you can see, it does the job. I know they have one that does not curve. For me, I just like a curve because we're curving here. When you're working in the circular motion, I think it just all works out. Okay?
The fuse.
You're covering the.
This is the fuses. Beadalon.
All right. Let's put this away. We are done with the elastic. You guys keep in mind these come in different sizes, but we work with 0.5 millimeters. And the best brand and product is 100% Stretch Magic. As I mentioned before, I've run through many different products. I've tested many different things out. I only recommend the best because I love when someone can come back and say, Lisa, it actually worked. Because I know for a fact because I've
Been using this for years.
I definitely have, but I've stumbled across other things, and we're talking legit, we're talking years, sustainable, strong, quality, and super cheap. Right now, it's about 44% off on Amazon. I'll give you that link. Hopefully, by the time you get to this link, it's still at this price. But notice that we're looking at 32.8 feet, and if you pull, let's say, 20 to 30 inches each, imagine how many bracelets you can make.
And bracelets.
Imagine how many bracelets you can make.
Oh, sorry. These past few times I've been
Bracelets.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so now we're moving forward. All right, so here we are. We have the bracelets, our gemstones, and now it's time for our knots. Ready to rock?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
gonna say you will help me with this one.
So let's use the long side. All right. So what we're going to do here, biggest secret here is to maintain your knots in that middle area. No yawning. This is late night, 2 a.m. cold bracelet making. All right, let's rock. Same thing. We're going to make a knot, but we're going to do a surging knot. So watch this. I'm going to take it around. I'm using my finger as a loop because I'm using my finger to control where the elastic is going. So make sure to send it around. Give it a nice pull because I need a little more stretch. And I'm going to do the surgeon knot here, which means it's going to double time around the same circle, but don't move too quickly now, right? Because you want to hold on to this. The biggest thing is the landing. When you land here, if this string goes over here or here, it's going to make it very difficult to end this process. If you end this wrong, you'll have the elastic hanging over here or hanging over here, and it's really, you can work around it. You may be able to pinch it and pull it up and out and redo it. But if the string is too short, you may have to restart, and it really doesn't feel good. So take your time. Take your time, take your time, take your time, and send the surgeon knot exactly where it started between. Exactly where you started. Into your loop. Surgeon knot twice. Twice. That's your loop, right?
Oh, to the
Did it go through its spots?
Oh no, I'm just doing it.
You doing it? No, you want to do it here so we can see? So first off, see this plastic? Give yourself a little bit more of a stretch. Let it be a little bit more to work with. Right? Stretch it out. Okay, hold on. Watch me do it again because the motion is not quite right. What we want to do is create a knot here in this area. Okay? So I'm using my finger. Now I'm holding it to make sure that it stays right there in that area. Because I need that second part to show up in that same pinch, right? I'm going to send it around twice. I won't do it now because I don't want too many layers of knots here, but I want you to try that. Okay, good luck. I'm going to do it again for you guys over here while Iceland's working on that. I'm going to work on it over here. You can sit back a little bit. Okay, nice pull. Around, same gemstone.
So once I'm here, you know what to do?
Same way you make a knot. You remember how to make a knot? So you're gonna pull. However you want to send it around, but this is what works for me. So now I have this, right? Now I'm just gonna go around. Now it has to go over, under, over, and under. 2 times. And then it should be sticking up by itself. It's gonna have 2 knots in there. You wanna try again?
Yeah, I already have this part.
Okay, so what do you do next? Put that there. The knotting can be pretty tricky. Sometimes when you do something so often, you don't realize what could be a bit more challenging. Over and under, over and under. Now, if you have more string, it will be much easier to work with. That's why I said your shorter end is going to be difficult, but I'll see what I can do. And you can control how short the end is by simply stopping. As you're going through, you're looking at the string, you realize you need enough string to make a knot. And you know how much string you need based on how comfortable you are making knots. So if you're not quite comfortable with knots just yet, you definitely want to give yourself a little bit more leverage. Good. Good. Give it a nice tug.
But after we start,
How many knots do you have?
none, because I had to go after we start.
So that's incorrect. So give it to me. So here's where we get to the point. We're not saying a 10th grader can't do it. I mean, a 10-year-old can't do it. But we're saying this could be one of the more challenging parts of the process. Okay? So here, this is the short end. Let me see if I can work with this. Also, having dry hands helps because if you have moisture on your hands, this is where this can be very difficult as well. So what I'm doing, see, was a bit short, kind of elongating that, and send it around. And I'm saying dry hands because these feel very, feels like there's some moisturizer on here, which makes it very difficult to use. So we're gonna go around once, go around twice. See that? And we're going to pull. So I can show you this. See, now it looks like that. There's a whole bunch of things going on, but that's fine because we're going to bring it together and take it down. It's a beautiful color. Okay, which is good, great, good. And a little twist, not pushing it inside of the gemstone. That's great. Now we're going to do the other end. So how do you feel, Icy? You want to give that a try?
You have to do it again.
Well, the one side, yes. This side, yes. This side is the part we want to do again. So what we can do, I'm going to give you a nice long twist, and I'm going to show you the motion again. Okay? This. If you're on one side, this has to go to the other side. And that's what creates that crossover. Okay? So now you're coming to the other side, which is grand. Okay? Now you're up. When you're up, now you have a circle. But that circle has to go behind and in. And I've never thought about this part of the process until I've seen you struggle with it. This part has to go not up. Okay, I'll do that again. So we have this string. Using my finger here. We go around to the back, bring it to the front, take it on up. Now we have a loop with that finger, right? Now we're creating the surgeon knot. Now we're going to send it back and in and back and in 2 times. How do you feel about that? Back meaning in through the back. See, I'm coming in through the back.
Oh.
And over. And then I'm stretching it again because now I'm going in through the back and over. Now I have these here. See those knots? And I still have my loop. Now I'm just going to control that and slowly bring it down. But I want to give you one more shot at this, okay? You think you can give it a try? So what I'm going to do is untangle it by pulling this. So give yourself enough leverage, which you have. That's a nice pull. And good luck. And the final step after that would be a simple chop chop. Good. That'll work. Yep. As long as it goes in there. It's nice and long, so try it one more time. Yep, loop it however you want to loop it over your finger. And remember, you have your finger to give yourself a little bit more of a circle. Yeah, see that circle? There you go. It's right there. See? So when you need more, pull your finger up. Excellent. Did you send it through? Okay, that's fine. Hold it. You're going to hold here. And what you're doing is sending it through here. Somehow you have to figure out how your fingers are going to do that. Go right through that hole. Okay. Did we do one or twice? That was one. Okay. Let's do the second loop. And you'll practice this, okay? Because this is just all you're doing is sending it through twice. There's the second. Now I'm going to let you pull it all the way up and keep it where it belongs. Nice and tight. And then kind of send it around. Like this. And we're done. Okay? And what I'd like to do here is give it a nice tug so I can see exactly what's happening there. And see I want it as close to the final knot as possible so that there's no loose strings. And then I'll go ahead and chop. So I'll pull it so I can see it there clearly. Chop. And then I'll do the other side. Do a nice little tug around. Looking good. And look at it really closely. I pull it even. You chop it super close to it. Because that surgeon knot is surgeon knotted. And we have arrived. Your turn, my dear. It's the final countdown. Careful watching your fingers. Because you see how those scissors are not your school scissors. So that's going to easy with the moisturizer on the front of your hands.
Yeah, because I didn't hear that until I put it
on the front of your hands, exactly.
But I tried to lift it up.
Yeah, so it makes everything very slippery. So try to dry your hands as best as you can. Because when I tested your elasticity, okay, so here's what we'll do. It's a quick pull. See that? Pull, 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 and snap. Excellent job. Let's go ahead and try that again. Pull, 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 and snap. Excellent. You have successfully completed and made your first creative power. Thank you all for joining. I'm going to check this out to see that this is best suited for you all with the sound, with the lighting, and we can't wait to see you all again. Excellent. Any message for the people today about your experience?
Bye. Oh,
Anything experience creating your first bracelet today?
Very fun.
Mm-hmm.
And
Was it challenging?
yeah.
Would you do it again?
Yeah.
Awesome. So what was your favorite part? And what part would you say
Favorite
probably
part
you can use to practice?
Was doing the needle going all the way.
Awesome. Needle around. Okay. Well, we shall see, guys. I thought this was super fun. If my daughter, 5th grader, can do it, you can definitely do it. Look how beautiful this is. We will see you guys soon. Like, subscribe, tell us more, tell us what you think. And feel free to shop, blisswasteicespeeds.com.